The Spurs wrap up the California Classic. Let's look back at those 3 games and catch up with some Spurs news. Happy Wednesday. Welcome back to another episode of Spurs in Focus right here on YouTube, iTunes, Spotify, Amazon Podcasts, YouTube Music. We are everywhere. Go subscribe right now. The Substack is completely free. Spurs in Focus. Go subscribe right now. Hit subscribe and you are in. Completely free. Go do that right now. As always, I thank you for making Spurs in Focus your first and only spot for all things San Antonio Spurs. You want to come here each time, every minute, every second, every day for your daily Spurs fix. I am Jeff Garcia, longtime Spurs writer in San Antonio. What are we talking about today? We're going to be looking back at the California Classic. Your silver and black, well, they go winless in California, but again, it's not about wins and losses. It's all about player development, who's looking good, who still needs some work. We're going to look at the 3 main rookies and maybe somebody else who is standing out so far through 3 summer games. Catch up with some Spurs news. Spurs want to play another game away from San Antonio. We're going to react to that and hear from Corliss Williamson, the Summer League head coach and Spurs assistant coach, about the addition of Tobias Harris. We're going to be discussing that and more. Let's go bring in our guest. He is back, everybody. And that guy, you see him, you know him. He is Mr. Rudy Campos with The Sports Answer. He is on X at The Sports Answer. Rudy, what's up with you and me? Looks like I got the Sox cap going. You got the Blue Jays, right? The Blue Jays, right?
Yeah, that'd be a Blue Jays
thing. Yeah, this is Spurs in Focus. I guess it's Spurs or
it's
MLB
baseball season. It's baseball season. There's no more basketball, no more football. I mean, I don't know about it.
You know why I got this? Because my Spurs hat is so beat up, so dingy and everything. I had to get something new, and I went to Ross and I said, good enough. It's black and silver, close enough. Black and white, I guess. Yeah. By the way, Rudy, Rudy Campos did pay off in his bet. Everybody, as you mentioned.
Yeah,
it's right here. I don't know if you can see it, everybody. There it is.
There you go. A rare figure.
A rare figure made up already. Rudy, let's get into it here, man. The Summer Spurs wrapped up the California Classic, go 0-3. Up next for them is the Las Vegas Summer League. They'll take on Atlanta. I think that's on Thursday. So we have a kind of a little bit of a sample size of how the 3 main Spurs rookies look, that being Terrence Reed Jr., Jacoby Gillespie, and Malik Brown. And then we'll throw in a bonus player who else is standing out for us, at least through 3 summer games. Let's start off with, I want to start with Jacoby Gillespie, the point guard. Now, obviously, he's probably not going to get a lot of burn, if any, in San Antonio next season. Spurs are already deep in guard, or at the guard spot. But, you know, one thing that stood out for me in this kind of a negative, is that for a point guard, he had a high turnover percentage, 10.2%. 10.2%. And I think I get it. It's new. It's, it's butterflies that you're adjusted to a new system, a new tempo. But 10.2% turnover percentage. Now, it was considered one of the lower ones on the roster, but nevertheless, I find that concerning, Rudy. You just chalk that up just to him just getting acclimated to the NBA style?
That's part of it. Part of it is that he's getting acclimated to NBA play, and it's a faster pace at the NBA game than it is in college. But also, the biggest knock that I had on him as far as my prospect ranking goes was the fact that he needed to learn to be a point guard, especially at the NBA level. He's a scoring guard. I mean, he does a great job at scoring the ball. He can get to the bucket. He can knock down a couple of threes when he needs to be. But for you to put him at a point guard position in the NBA, he's got a lot to learn. So labeling him as a point guard, coming into the summer league, I get it. But the latest summer league that they ended up, I think, running him and RJ Davis in the backcourt together. And you saw RJ kind of being a little bit more of a point guard, running the ball a little bit. But hey, Jacoby is able to get some assists. He had 6 assists the last game. So you saw some glimpses of what he can provide, and it's still going to be a learning curve and a learning process for him to run the point guard position at the NBA. But for right now, the turnover rate, it's summer league. I mean, you see guys foul out. I mean, didn't Tim Duncan foul out in a summer league?
Yeah, he did.
Time. So, I mean, it's just guys getting acclimated to the game. I wouldn't put too much in the summer league, but you want to be able to hopefully go into Vegas Summer League games
Mhm.
and see him improve a little bit more, better ball handling, less turnovers, probably better decision making throughout the
Mm.
rest of the summer.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, one good thing I did like is his three shot wasn't horrible.
Mhm.
Uh, he actually finished third on the roster again before Las Vegas at 38% shooting from the three line. He took about seven, he made about three. So that's not terrible. You got a guy like Emmanuel Miller. He led the team so far with 56% shooting from the three line.
Mhm.
But again, he's taking less shots. Jacoby's taking seven. He was taking 7 3-point shots. And it goes back to what you were saying. He has a scoring first mentality. And that's good. I mean, that's good. The NBA, the scoring is up. We all know that. But yeah, right. I think I need to see him be more of a traditional point guard because sometimes I think that's what the Spurs need. The Spurs have their scoring guards, Harper, Fox, Castle can do it too. I think they need a calming presence, but I don't think he's ready for being a traditional point guard. I don't think he doesn't have the experience, Rudy.
Mhm.
I should I mean, again, Austin, you're probably going to see a lot of highlights, him having awesome scoring nights. That's on the way. We can see that coming. But if he can learn to balance and be effective on both ends and those intangibles that you mentioned, the assist and calming force and floor generalship, I think that'll work. I want to ask you too about his shooting. It was pretty bad.
Mhm.
He shot 32% through 3 California Classic games. Your thoughts?
I I mean, as a scorer, you're gonna put up a lot of shots, whether you make them or not. It's just, I mean, whether the
Yeah.
ball goes in. Basically, at the end of the day, I wouldn't be worried so much about it. Again, it's the first 3 games of summer league. It's still getting used to a brand new system, still getting used to
Mhm.
teammates that you've never played with other than practice. So I would think shooting would come in time with him. I like it that he gets to the basket. I'd rather him get to the basket a lot more,
Mhm.
take some more mid-range shots than, maybe attempt to cut more less threes for a little bit. But the scoring pace, it's okay. His shooting is at
Mhm.
37%, like you said, for the summer league. It's not that bad for a rookie. We've seen worse from other rookies in past years,
Right.
and some of them turn out to be great shooters eventually. So it's going to take a little bit of time for Jacoby to get through. You're right. They're going to see a lot of him in Austin. You're going to see some scoring spurts in Austin. And the one thing that fans got to understand is ask yourself this question: is he a guy that you would put before a David Jones Garcia? I mean, right
Right.
now, probably not. You saw Jones Garcia develop in the Spurs system. He traveled around the NBA a little bit and he traveled into international games as well. So if
Mhm.
you can put him above David Jones Garcia, then he's on the right path. But right now,
Yeah.
no, he's gonna be an Austin guy. And the one thing in Austin, he's gonna get a lot of scoring
Yeah.
opportunities. So it's just gonna build more confidence for him.
I did find it impressive. He averaged, I think I got it here, 1.7 steals per game. So
Mhm.
that's pretty good, nearly two a game. And he led the Summer Spurs in California with 12.7 points per game. Again, he took 14 shots per game and made about five, hence the low shooting percentage there. But overall, again, not horrible NBA-ish debut, at least summer debut. Could
Mhm.
be better, but again, expect him to get a bulk of his rookie season play out in Austin. Maybe you get the call up every once in a while, and even if he does, Rudy, he'll probably be buried on the bench, and unless it's a blowout game on either end, of the Spurs are getting blown out or they're doing the blowing out, you're probably not going to see him much in San Antonio. But nevertheless, steady progress. That's all you want to see from these guys. Let's
Yeah.
go to Terrace Reed Jr. now. He played 2 games in California, averaged about 26 minutes per game, averaged 11 points per game. And what I liked about he averaged nearly 10 rebounds per game at 9.5. Rudy, your thoughts?
Yeah, so we both talked about Terrace Reed that first game he played. Looked a little bit confused, looked a little bit out of
Yeah, he did.
place. And we were concerned, but not really concerned knowing that it was his first
Mhm.
game, as a Spur actually in the NBA. So coming into his second game, 12 points, 12 rebounds. I mean, he had a block. So the thing with Terrace Reed is he looks more comfortable. I think what Corliss Williamson and Rashard Lewis and the coaching staff did was they were able to put him in better situations and better spots on the floor to help him feel comfortable. And you saw that right away with Terrace Reed. So I liked what I saw in his second appearance, and I'm curious to see how it's going to go when the competition ramps up a little bit in
Right.
Vegas Summer League.
Mhm.
So I think with Terrace Reed again, it's somebody who, like I mentioned, he's going to play around the basket. You're going to see lobs. I compare him a lot to a Roy Hibbert type of player.
Mm-hmm.
Just going to be a really big pest in the paint area. Can get rebounds, can get lobs. Can do a majority of his damage there on the defensive side. He's going to clog up the paint. So this is exactly what I'm expecting to see from him. What we saw in that game against the Lakers, where he had 12 points and 12 rebounds. So if he can continue to build on that, he
Mm-hmm.
could carve a few minutes into a
Yeah.
rotation for San Antonio. This is exactly what they needed, a guy just to be in the paint, when Victor's kind of roaming around.
Absolutely. He also averaged 1 block per game. Unfortunately, he did not lead the team so far in summer play with blocks. I actually went to RJ Melendez. He averaged 3 blocks per game.
Yeah.
But nevertheless, I also like this too. I think this is standing out for me. For Reed, he averaged 3.5 offensive rebounds.
Mhm.
Offensive rebounds. Now, Rudy and I, we get it. This is summer league play. We understand this is not the highest level of NBA competition, but
Yeah.
you just want to see things that he can provide. And if he can be a force on the on the offensive rebounding and the defensive rebounding, just rebounds in general, and he kept his turnovers low, 1.5 turnovers per game out in California. I think that's good. He also played a clean game. You figure big guys, tend to throw their bodies around, mix things up. He averaged just only 2 fouls per game
Yeah.
in the California Classic. After the game versus the Lakers, where they lost, and by the way, the Spurs did lose all 3 games in California. Um, Head coach Corliss Williamson said that he has already given Terrence Reed advice on how to handle the jump from the summer league then to the NBA. And he was just being honest with him. He said, "You're probably not going to get burned because
Yeah.
you're probably not going to get your touches to be impactful offensively." But what he did tell him, that what he could see so far through the summer league play, is that you're a big body. You can do the rebounding. You can get the offensive rebounding. He said that's probably Terrace's path to getting some rotation minutes in San Antonio. Your thoughts?
Yeah, it's like I mentioned. I mean, the way he's
Mhm.
going right now, especially after the Laker game, if he can put up, decent
Mhm.
numbers in the summer league and then going into preseason, if he can make some kind of impact preseason wise, that's pretty much the way he's going to carve himself a rotation spot. And when I think rotation, I'm thinking that 5, maybe 6 minutes a game, the spurt that you get here and
Yeah.
there. But Corliss Williamson is completely correct. I mean, he's not going to be an offensive juggernaut.
No.
They're not going to run Yeah, they're not gonna run plays for him. Any type of scoring he's gonna get is maybe on a lob off of a pick and roll, possibly mainly just off of
Mhm.
offensive rebounding if he's gonna get any opportunities to score. And again, that's something that San Antonio is gonna have to develop. They were able to draft Terrace Rowe. They traded for Terrace Reed to the draft, able to get a player like Jaden Quaintance, who's probably going to be out for the rest of the year,
Right.
which is not a bad thing. It's good for him health wise, but that's completely 100% accurate by Corliss there. You've gotta be able to do the little things for San Antonio to get on the floor. He's not a guy that's gonna go in and block, 3, 4 shots a game like Victor does. He's not gonna go out there and get a bunch of rebounds like Dennis Rodman did. He's the type of guy that's gonna come in, give you that 4 or 5 minutes a game until he can actually find his way into more rotation minutes, which again, with San Antonio, they're so deep of a team right now that it's going to be difficult for almost any rookie to get any type of run on the main roster.
Yeah, absolutely. And I like the fact that he's just another big guy out there that the Spurs can throw on the court. And I think that's the best way for him to also impress, not just in Vegas, but in training camp as well. And in the preseason,
Mhm.
he'll have his opportunity to show the San Antonio Spurs team that he can be somewhat of a rotation piece at the bigs department, because they do need help in that department. And of all the 3 rookies, we'll get to Malik Brown next. It's likely Terrace Reed will probably get some San Antonio minutes. He'll
Mhm.
probably get his Austin minutes as well, but he'll likely be the one to get a lot more San Antonio minutes. But overall, yeah, I like what I saw out of him. Again, started off summer league play a little hesitant, little, kind of, what am I doing here? Deer in headlights. But he broke
Yeah.
out of that as the 3 games, or at least 2 games for him proceeded. And by the way, in that second game, he did a lot better than he did in the first game, showing some footwork, pump fakes, using that body to get easy buckets. So I like what I saw out of him. Let's go to Malik Brown. He played all 3 games out in California. In 22.6 minutes, he averaged 4.7 points per game, shot 50% from the field, 33% shooting from the three line, but he only averaged about 2 3 attempts, and he only nearly made about one. And rebounds, he averaged 3.7. And I think what really stood out for me too is low turnovers, 1.0 turnovers, and again a clean game, 2 turnovers. I'm sorry, 2 first personal fouls per game. But again, it's kind of par for the course.
Mhm.
Malik Brown was not expected to be an offensive kind of guy.
Yeah, no, I mean, you're talking about Malik Brown who came in to that first summer league game, knocking
Mhm.
down what two, a couple of three
Yeah.
pointers, almost like a scoring juggernaut. We were both kind of like, man, this
Hmm.
this isn't Malik Brown right here.
Yeah. No.
We were mainly a defensive type of guy, and then the last couple of games, you started to see him come back down to earth, and this is typical of the Malik Brown that we expected.
Mhm.
Just kind of getting a little, a few rebounds here and there, maybe making it a little bit of a
Right.
nuisance for two guys getting around the basket. He had a block or two, or average almost a block a game, I believe. So
Hmm.
this is what we kind of figured for Malik Brown. And Malik Brown, if you're expecting him to come in and carve out minutes and maybe even get on the rotation
Right.
for the San Antonio, maybe even be the 12th man on the roster, it's not going to happen. He's a guy that's going to be in Austin for a little bit. Consider him more of a Harrison Ingram type of player.
Right.
Kind of come into the Spurs organization. He's going to be in Austin for a good amount of time. Harrison Ingram, he's been in Austin. He's been really, really dominated in Austin. Really good player in Austin. You may see him come up on their active roster here pretty soon, but that's the same type of style and path that Malik Brown's going to have. Just going to be in
Yeah.
Austin, improve his game. Don't expect him to make a huge jump offensively. But again, he wasn't drafted for offense. He was drafted for a big body and mainly for his defensive schemes.
Yeah. Do you? I don't know. I mean, the Spurs do need kind of those do it all, get the hands dirty kind of players. I
Mm,
think he could maybe at least attract some interest from the San Antonio side of things if he shows that in Austin. Just somebody who's going to do the dirty work, bang bodies, get
mhm.
rebounds, throw himself on the court. I think for him, probably his best path to San Antonio minutes.
Yeah, I mean that would probably be his only path to San
Mhm.
Antonio minutes. He's not as developed as Terrace Reed is, so
Mhm.
he's got to get above that, and that's just talking defensively and rebounding wise. He's not above Terrace Reed on that right there.
Yeah.
But with Malik Brown, I'm trying to think of a good comp to maybe where he can maybe carve out his way to the NBA. Man, it's difficult because you think of guys like maybe a Larry Nance Jr. You mean we think of guys. I mean, I'll even go in deep into the bench of Robert Zachary from the
Ooh,
LA Lakers.
that's deep.
Yeah, so when he was with the Lakers, but he didn't have much of an offensive game, and he was just kind of a guy that did little things here and there. But I don't honestly with Malik Brown, Jeff, even if he was to be, averaging 4 or 5 blocks a game in Austin, I wouldn't see him getting that opportunity in San Antonio just based off of that. He does everything, he does all the little things right, but it's not going to be enough to get him to the active roster. So almost, I mean, I won't say he's a career G League guy. That's kind of, I think that's disrespectful. I'm not going to ever say that to any
Yeah.
player. Um, but he's going to spend a good amount of time in the G League. And who knows? I mean, he may be a type of player that another team may look at and maybe pick up. But for right now, if you're looking at San Antonio, I don't see him making that after roster. There's a lot of guys ahead
Mhm.
of him, and that will be ahead of him for a while there that I think he's probably going to get more opportunity.
Yeah. Yeah. I think now of the three rookies, obviously, well, maybe we should exclude Quaintance because we know he's redshirted for most of the season,
Yep.
upcoming season. That leaves Gillespie, Brown, and Reed. Reed is likely the one to see more San Antonio minutes versus Austin minutes.
Yeah, and Brown's not gonna be
That's
above Quaintance, so,
yeah,
I mean, that's
yeah,
already another guy you gotta take in consideration.
exactly. So it's really Reed. Reed would probably be I guess, the biggest rookie, no pun intended, to
Yeah.
get some shine in San Antonio. But I'm expecting all three of those guys when they are in Austin just to dominate. Maybe this Austin team could make a run for a G League title. I mean, they're going to have some good quality players, huh?
Yeah, they do, those 3 guys, Ma Kelly is another guy Miles Kelly is another guy that's been in Austin He can score the basket. It depends on which guys they keep in Austin there, but could see a pretty good little G League team in Austin. So hey, if the Spurs are off, maybe you want to head up to Austin, catch an Austin game because this team could be good.
Absolutely. All right. When we get back, we're going to look at anybody else who stood out, at least through 3 Summer League games. That's next, right here on Spurs in Focus.
As the new leader of the Decepticons, I command you to subscribe to Spurs in Focus.
Daredevil Matt Murdock needs to join the NBA dunk contest. Do you see those hops he has?
Yeah. I mean,
See that reverse dunk, legs crossed up.
But the only question I have for him is, will the pace of the game be too fast because he can't see? He's blind.
That's right. Well, he is the man without fear, so he's probably not going to be worried about pace.
Might have to guide him towards the basket, though. So
there you go.
Really negative.
He is Mr. Rudy Campos. Make sure to follow him on X at The Sports Answer. I am Jeff Garcia. Follow me on X at Jeff G Spurs Zone. All right, so we looked at the big 3 rookies that are playing out in the summer league. So California's wrapped up. Up next is Vegas. But Rudy, is there anybody else outside of the big 3 Spurs rookies that stood out for you?
Yeah, one guy that I called out before we even played these games was RJ Davis. Keep an eye on him. He ended the 3 games, scoring 18 points, I believe, in that game. A couple of rebounds, a couple of assists. I think he averaged around 12, 13 points a game for those 3 games. But a really good shooter, a guy that can score the basket. He shot probably right around 40% from the field. So RJ Davis, definitely a kid you want to watch on. I was able to watch him when I covered North Carolina. So I know his game a little bit, and I love the way the intensity he brings. I love the scoring pace that he brings to the San Antonio Spurs. And again, probably going to be more likely to be a guy in the G League for a while with San Antonio. But a guy that's on the right path, that can get to the basket, can work on his point guard abilities, has a lot still to learn, which I'm not too concerned with. A very smart player, can get to the basket, score the ball. Another guy that I looked at too was Emmanuel Miller, was another guy. Again, the young kids that the Spurs have in Austin, they're special kids, and they all are improving. They all are going to continue to improve. So those 2 guys are my 2 guys that I looked at, Emmanuel Miller and RJ Davis, as guys that you may want to circle and keep an eye on because they're on the right path to something.
Yeah, I'm with you. But for me, above RJ is Emmanuel Miller. Yeah, he really stood out. Yeah, in 3 games, 10 points per game in 26 minutes. Shot the ball decent, not the greatest, but nevertheless, 39% shooting from the field, 56% shooting from the 3 line. Now, granted, he took 3 attempts. He made about 1.7. Turnovers were low, 1.7 turnovers per game. But 2 assists and 2 steals, that stood out for me, and 6 rebounds. That's kind of peppering the box stat sheet there, and I like that from him. And also, he has experience with the Spurs system, playing in Austin. You're already getting that experience under his belt. So far, at least through 3 games, I have Emmanuel Miller as being this year's kind of summer league guy that's going to stand out. Again, I understand there's Vegas play. The Vegas level competition is a little higher. You'll likely see Carter Bryant play. Terrence Reed will probably get some burn. By the way, I don't think Carter Bryant will play many games in Las Vegas, maybe 2.5, maybe, and that's it.
Maybe.
But the point is that Emmanuel Miller so far for me is the standout player outside of the Spurs 3 rookie draft class 2026. Would not be surprised to see him get invited to training camp, maybe a 2-way deal. We don't know yet. There are a couple of roster spots left for the Spurs. My gut feeling says they're probably going to be given to Harrison Ingram and David Jones Garcia. But Emmanuel Miller is making the case for himself, Rudy.
Manuel Miller definitely is making the case for himself. I mean, another guy that went undrafted and brought into the Spurs system, and that's the way that he plays. I love the style that he plays, and again, it's a guy that's just kind of be buying his time. I mean, barring for whatever reason, if they don't move up Harrison Ingram or possibly David Jones Garcia, and they're looking at other guys. I mean, Emmanuel Miller could be a guy that they need to look at. Very athletic guy too. I really like this game, and he could bring a lot to the active roster, but the thing that we've got to also remember too is I don't think the Spurs are done in the offseason. You probably have another signing of a veteran somewhere in there. So it's going to be less roster spots for a lot of these guys. And if you're looking at a guy for summer league, I think you mentioned Carter Bryant. The more I look at the Carter Bryant situation, you're right. He plays a couple of games in Vegas, but I also think he's there to kind of mentor these rookies. Obviously, he was a rookie last season. So he can kind of give them help with Corliss Williamson and Rashard Lewis as a player that's being on the court last year for San Antonio. But him, mentoring a guy like Manuel Miller and, Terrace Reed and all these other kids out there, that's going to be beneficial to them. But more than anything with Emmanuel Miller, would you say maybe he's got, I would say, good year in Austin before maybe see him talked about?
I'm not gonna be surprised if he gets picked up by another NBA team next season.
I could see that, and I think that's concerning for me with the Austin Spurs is that they have a lot of guys that can probably be picked up by other teams. Remember, there's a good example, Miami. I mean, the Miami Heat have so much money already tied up in a few players that they're going to need guys to come in and kind of fill out that active roster because they're not going to be able to sign a lot of these other guys out there. So this is a situation where you see Miami poaching San Antonio's G League. It's possibly that, Emmanuel Miller, even an RJ Davis could be gone from the G League, before it starts.
Absolutely. The Spurs continue summer league play in Las Vegas this Thursday. So tomorrow against the Hawks, and that'll be opening game for them. We'll see how they look because now the competition is going to raise a little bit more in Las Vegas. All right, let's catch you up with some Spurs news that you may have missed. We got 2 items for you to start off with. Kind of one that's making Spurs fans a little nervous. Again, here we go again. As y'all know, the San Antonio Spurs are allowed to play a few games away from San Antonio and still be considered a home game. So y'all know 2 of those. Those are the 2 Austin games out of the Moody Center during Austin Week every year. Fine. Then there's a 3rd one, which is an international game. As y'all know, it's going to be France this year. So the Spurs will be playing the Pelicans in France. And there you have it. Well, looks like the Spurs are asking for more. The Bexar County Commissioners Court released their agenda for an upcoming meeting. And on line item number 68, there it was. In a nutshell, the Spurs are requesting one more home away game outside of San Antonio / the Frost Bank Center. Rudy, your initial thoughts? You worried about this, or is just the Spurs just trying to, give themselves more exposure and a bigger fan base?
Well, I think, what I like about us at Spurs in Focus and all the stuff that we do is we keep it real, we keep it serious. And to say it's concerning, it's a little concerning. I would put it on a scale of 10 being 10, it's catastrophic. I would say it's probably on that 3 range, 2 to 3 range. The only reason why is because look at all the trouble that they're having now for that whole Project Marvel and the new Spurs Stadium arena thing going on. They're still having issues with it. They're still bickering back and forth with the city of San Antonio. And, remember the city of Seattle was having the same type of issues and all of a sudden Seattle lost its team. So I'm not saying that the Spurs are leaving and I'm not saying that the city of San Antonio is going to allow the Spurs to leave, but it's more of a keep your options open, I think is what it is. And that's okay. If the league has no problem with them playing games outside of San Antonio, then they have every right to, but I wouldn't circle it as being start to, trash the Spurs and all this other stuff. I wouldn't do that at all. I mean, the only thing I would say from a fan's perspective is if you're a season ticket holder, you should not be paying extra for these games if you're not going to be able to attend them, like the ones in Austin. I mean, if you signed up for 41 games on the year and you're only getting 38 of them, you should be paying for 38. So I don't know how that works. I hope fans out there will at least correct me if that's the way it works. But concerned, no, I'm not concerned yet. I would be more concerned if we start to hear the city of San Antonio and the Spurs going back and forth and the arena falls through, then I would definitely move it up to about a 7 or 8 because now these extra games going outside of San Antonio are more of a, well, let's see what we have here. Let's see what kind of crowd we draw here type stuff. So it also depends where they're playing it. Is it? We don't know if it's in Austin.
Yeah, we don't know yet.
We don't know if it's Mexico City. We don't know anything like that. So if it's like Mexico City, I'm okay with that because it's international play, and you're talking about Adam Silver, who's already talking about NBA Europe. So I get the international play. Maybe it's a home game in France. We don't know yet. We don't really know what this home game is going to be. But if it's another game in Austin, if it's another game in another city that's kind of like, well, why are they playing in Albuquerque, a home game? Well,
St.
there's
Louis,
a St. Louis or something like that. Then I would be more concerned. But we don't even know where it's at yet right now.
Yeah, exactly. Rudy hit it on the head there. Now, in that line item, the Spurs did not say, and the game we want to play at and / city is going to be this spot. They did not.
Yeah.
Just a couple of things here. Now, if they do decide to do that and bring that NBA Spurs experience, I would hope it would go to maybe Corpus Christi, because Corpus is a huge, huge Spurs fan base. I mean, it's massive out there. Maybe the Rio Grande Valley, I can see that if it stays in the United States. But you're right. If it goes outside of Mexico City, I'm not going to be worried. For me, Rudy, this just tells me they're looking for more money. They just need more money, a bigger footprint. They want to dominate. If they want to pick a South Texas spot, they want to dominate South Texas.
Yeah.
That was the whole point of the Austin thing. They want to start building bridges with other cities. Now, the Spurs have made it very clear that San Antonio is HQ. It is the headquarters. They're not moving. But, business is business. I know y'all think sports is just put the ball in the basket, but ultimately it is a business. Look at the name, look at the title of the league itself. NBA, National Basketball Association. And if you go further, E, they add an E sometimes. That E stands for entertainment. And that's what it ended up is. It's just entertainment. So, look, I don't think the Spurs are relocating. That's probably not on the.
That's a big word
agenda.
to use right now. That's not, I wouldn't use that word right now as much as you want to. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to do that. I don't think they're flirting with another team. When Project Marvel, I know it got passed, but really haven't seen any groundbreaking anything. I mean, they're still
that's always plant
this and the plant and there's a lot of little hiccups right now. So who knows if that's going to fall through. Now remember, it's a non-binding agreement, everybody. It's a non-binding agreement.
Keep that in mind.
Jeez. But if I just look at this on the surface, I just see this as the Spurs just looking to expand their fan base, expand their footprint throughout South Texas. If it stays in South Texas, you're right. If it goes to Mexico City, cool. I think that's awesome. I think that'll be awesome. That's a good thing to do. But I'm interested to see where this is going. Like, when's enough going to be enough? You already have 3 home away games. Now you want a 4th. When's a 5th going to come? Is it simply because San Antonio, the tickets are getting higher and higher and higher, and it's getting harder to sell tickets at the Frost Bank? Could that be that? Let's go somewhere, another population where they can afford, more tickets. I mean, you can't tell me they go to Mexico City, they're going to sell it out. They're going to sell it out like that. And make a lot of money. So for me right now, it's just financially and expanding their fan base / their brand. That's how I see it as. But we shall see how the board votes on that amendment to the contract. So we'll see what happens. And by the time they're watching this, it's probably already happened. So we'll see what they do.
Let me ask you this. Does it look bad if they request another home game outside of San Antonio and the board's like, no. I mean, does it, because it has to come from the county as well?
Yeah, the county. Yeah. Because the county is technically the landlord of the Frost Bank Center.
So that I guess then, I guess we have a little bit of time to dive into a rabbit hole here, but could the Spurs be doing this to see how serious the county and city are about Project Marvel?
It's a possibility, but why rock the cradle?
Well, you want to see how serious they are, because if they say no, we're not going to do this, and they say, well, if you're not, you're not going to allow us to do this, we need to get this project started right away. Then, you're delaying it. Well, don't be delaying it, or we want to continue to try this and this and this. I think it's a chess match if you're thinking about it, because there's a lot of issues coming up with Project Marvel, and now
Mm,
all of a sudden the Spurs want to play a fourth home game outside of San Antonio. You're taking revenue away from San Antonio that's not going to get it back.
mhm,
They've booked the Frost Bank for 41 games minimum, all regular
mhm.
season games. So you're taking away that revenue. You're taking away, revenue from people that work there, the hourly people that work there. I don't know. I mean, to me, it might be a chess match type thing to see how serious the county and the city are about Project
Mhm.
Marvel, because again, it's a stalemate now. I mean, you saw the
Right.
sauce plant issue, you've seen other stuff come up now. Maybe the Spurs feel that they're not being taken serious on this whole thing.
Yeah, for those of you who don't live in San Antonio, the sauce plant is basically the water plant,
Mhm.
uh, and it's located in downtown San Antonio, where the proposed site is going to be. And it's not just moving office buildings; it's an entire machinery and works and just it's massive. It'll be a massive move. That could be a big hiccup right now, but we'll see. We'll see. For right now, Rudy, I'm not hitting the panic button. I'm just seeing
Mm.
this more as a financial move and expanding their brand footprint. For now, we'll see. See, for me, I think I need to see where they want to play.
That's a
Imagine
bigger
they say this. If they say this, hey, we want a third game in Austin. Oh my goodness gracious!
I mean, that then you're kind of looking like, well, I mean, Dell's based in
Yep.
Austin, so I
Yep.
mean, he has some ownership, so I can understand it, but Austin doesn't have. So I don't know if I'm gonna make Austin people mad, but Austin doesn't really have the infrastructure, I think,
Yeah.
to
And
support.
UT dominates out there.
Yeah, UT dominates, and I mean, I know they got probably land to build something out there, but does Austin really support the Spurs 100% more than what San Antonio does? And
Mhm.
I mean, again, it's not bashing Austin because I don't know if they can.
Mhm.
I mean, you look at other stuff in San Antonio, the Roadrunners were so hot for a while, but then they start losing, and now you
Mhm.
can't even give tickets away half the time. So it's the same thing in Austin with the Spurs. If the Spurs start losing, they move there. The Spurs start losing, do they go back to 6,000 fans? And
Yeah.
you're gonna have to build a new arena out there. You can't be in the Moody Center the entire time. So, I mean, there's a lot of questions on where they. I don't think it's so much moving to Austin. I think it was be moving that Austin San Antonio
Mhm.
corridor. New Braunfels could, definitely benefit from that.
Mhm.
San Marcos can definitely benefit from that. So almost like a, Dallas Cowboy type thing. They're not located in Dallas; they're located in Irving. So it's
Yeah.
between Fort Worth and Dallas, pretty much. Um, I mean Arlington, or Arlington. I
Arlington, yeah.
can't Arlington. I'm sorry. So, um, I'm not concerned so much, but what I am concerned is, like I said, where is this fourth game or third game going to be played? If it's Austin, I'm like, okay, I'm okay with that. But if it's like, oh, hey, like I said, we're going to Albuquerque, or we're going to St. Louis, or we're going to, Cincinnati, then it's like, wait a minute, hold up, pump the brakes here. Why all of a
Yeah.
sudden do you need a game in one of these places when the Phoenix Suns can travel to Albuquerque for
Yeah.
them, or whoever can travel here? Then I'm more concerned about that. So I
Yeah.
would say, keep an eye. As soon as Jeff gets that memo or I get that memo, we'll definitely let you know.
Absolutely. All right. Let's get into our final Spurs news item here, and that is Tobias Harris. No, we all know he signed. It's official now, but we finally got our first reaction from the coaching staff about Harris coming to San Antonio. So we have ready here. Let's go and bring it up. This is Corliss Williamson over at the California Summer League, and he was asked about the addition of Harris. Here's what he had to say, courtesy of the Spurs.
Versatile. He could run the floor if he ever shoot, could drive, post looking out in. So just to watch him mature from the time he first came into the league until now, where he's, a savvy vet, it's been a joy to watch. He played for my alma mater, Detroit. So definitely watched him during those years, and we're excited to have him. Like I say, his versatility on both ends of the floor, offensively and defensively. I think that's something that can definitely help us and help him get acclimated to how we play. And then his experience, the experience he's had as a vet, experience he's had in the playoffs. I think that's definitely some things he bring to the table to help our guys continue to mature, because we are still a young team. So the more times we have veteran guys in our program, they help these guys continue to figure it out. It's going to be beneficial for us.
There you have it. That was Corliss Williamson, summer head coach for your Spurs. And I think he hit it on the head. This team is still young. Their core is still young.
Mhm.
Now, we said in the last show that we did, Rudy, weren't Spurs fans upset that there was enough experience out there on the court, especially in the finals?
Yeah.
Can't get more experience than Tobias Harris, who's been through some battles and he has battle scars. Your thoughts?
Yeah, man. I mean, Spurs fans cried, we didn't have veterans for that final run. Well, you got veteran now, then it seems like they cried
You
that
do.
we got Tobias Harris. Why did we get Tobias? I'm like, come on, man. You can't ever, be right with Spurs fans out there, especially on Spurs X. So great. I mean, a great addition. I mean,
Absolutely.
again, a guy that plays both sides of the ball, can get you a bucket. I mean, he's a scorer. He's a great team player. He's a great locker room guy. You've never heard anybody talk negative about Tobias Harris. And the best thing about Tobias is that, he's so versatile, man. You needed to fill a forward position, and you got, one of the better forwards on the free agent market, a guy that has a lot of playoff experience. He was the second best player on Detroit last year in the playoffs,
Mhm.
and even led them to a win. He had 31 points in one game. So, Tobias is going to be basically, people were like, well, he's, we signed Harrison Barnes. Saying, no, it's a different role. Tobias Harris is a lot more versatile. He's got a lot more tread on the tires compared to Harrison Barnes, and he's going to be an instant impact next year. I mean, this year for San Antonio right away. And whatever
Mhm.
Corliss said, he's not telling you to make everybody feel all happy about the Harris thing.
Right.
He's telling you the exact truth. Tobias is a very good player, a hardworking player. He's going to make an impact. He's going to make a lot of these guys on the team already better just by him being on the court. So great addition by them. And I remember, you talked about the Rui thing, but it just shows the priority the Spurs had. Yes, they wanted Rui, but when they found out Tobias was available, they put everything on hold and said, we're getting Tobias Harris.
Yeah.
Could not complain about that at all, man.
No, absolutely. Yeah, it was obvious, at least when the report came out, and if true, that the Spurs went from Rui, that they were in play for Hachimura, and then they flipped to that guy you see on your screen, Tobias Harris. No, I think Corliss hit it on the head. They needed more experience. They got it, and he's still productive. He's still productive. Remember, he upped his game in the postseason, and he kind of was the de facto go-to guy once Cade Cunningham was out for a while in Detroit. He was their guy, and he definitely filled those shoes to the best of his ability. Now, obviously, this is not Tobias Harris back in the Philly days, but nevertheless, he brought it on and took on that burden, task, and responsibility when Cade was out. And he also posted on social media that he has one goal in mind for the Spurs, and that's bringing back a title to San Antonio. So he's focused on maybe wrapping up his career with a ring. And what better way to do that than with a championship team that just coming off a finals run and is poised to do another one next season. So there you have it. That was from Corliss Williamson, courtesy of the Spurs. And that puts a bow on this episode of Spurs in Focus. Rudy, you need to brag about the answer.
So the Sports Answer, it's myself and Derek Gervin. We come to you on Fridays or Thursdays live from the studio. Same thing, NBA talk, a lot of Spurs talk, NFL talk, sports in general. And we're going to have to get into the whole, not relocation, I may say that, the whole extra game for San Antonio.
Yeah.
As like you mentioned, as of this recording, we understand it might have already been voted on. So we'll keep in we'll ask Derek that, because Derek, being the former NBA player, and he still has ties to the NBA through his brother, it's always a good insight to get a player's perspective, because sometimes he knows a little bit more than what we do. But yeah, you can catch myself and Derek Gervin the Sports Answer on Friday or Thursday. Just be sure to go to Answer Now TV, hit that subscribe button.
Do that right now. Rudy, thank you for taking time out of your schedule to join us here at Spurs in Focus. Everybody else, we thank y'all for making Spurs in Focus your first and only spot for all things San Antonio Spurs. Come here each and every day, each and every second, every week. to catch up on the latest on the Silver and Blacks. Unsubscribe to the rest. You only want to subscribe here to Spurs in Focus and give us your thoughts. What do you think about the Spurs summer play through 3 games? Sure, they went winless, but it's not about wins and losses. It's about player development. Let us know what you think about the rookies, who else stood out for you, and what are you thinking about the Spurs asking for another away game? Let us know. Rudy is on X at The Sports Answer. I am on X at Jeff G Spurs Zone. The next show we'll have will be this guy and myself. We have a live show coming up later this week. I think by that time, Summer League already started, so we'll see how they did in Game 1 of the Summer League at least, and then any other Spurs news that has popped up since then. And don't forget to subscribe right now on iTunes, Spotify, YouTube Music, YouTube itself. Spurs in Focus Substack is completely free. You want to do that right now. So for that guy, Mr. Rudy Campos, I am Jeff Garcia, and now you're in focus with Spurs in Focus.